The world has been washed clean. The flash flood came without warning, a roaring brown beast that scoured the ravine, erasing everything. Now, in the aftermath, the sun bakes the mud into a cracked, grey skin. An old female Australopithecus africanus picks her way through the debris. She is looking for food, for the familiar roots and tubers that the floodwaters may have exposed. Her clan is hungry, their home destroyed. It is a day of loss. She finds the child in a tangle of reeds, caked in mud but miraculously alive. It is a strange, mindless-looking infant. Its face is unsettlingly flat, its forehead higher, its brow less pronounced than any she has ever seen. It is not one of hers. It is something other. But it is a child, and it is alone. And its thin wail is a sound that cuts through the boundaries of species. She makes a choice. In a world of brutal, unthinking instinct, she commits an act of radical empathy. She picks up the strained, small creature and carries it back to her bewildered clan. Years pass. The foundling, Echo, grows. She is called, by a series of soft grunts and gestures, that is her name. Beaver, she is loved. Her adoptive mother grooms her with a fierce tenderness, and the other young Australopithecus treat her as a strange but accepted sibling. She learns their ways, how to find grubs, how to read the alarm calls of birds, how to show submission to the dominant males. But she is not one of them. Her body is different, her legs longer and straighter, her arms less suited for climbing. And her mind is a place her family cannot follow. Her hands are never still. While the other young hominids play, wrestling and chasing, Ava is on the ground, utterly absorbed. She collects stones, she arranges them by size, by color, by texture. She learns their properties. This one is soft and crumbles. This one is hard and drinks when struck. This obsession is a source of deep unease for her clan. Her adoptive mother watches, a knot of love and fear in her chest. This is not play, it is something else, something focused and disturbingly quiet. This is the ghost of Homo habilis, the handyman, stirring in its new home. The emotional turning point comes on a hot, dry afternoon. Ava sits with two ritter cobbles. The others watch from a distance. She is not just banging them together. There is a precision, an intent. She holds one stone as a core, and with a sharp, controlled strike from the other, she flakes off a piece. She turns the core, her small brow furrowed in concentration, and strikes again. A second flake falls. She picks up the core. It now has a sharp, jagged edge. She uses it to slice through a tough piece of hide left over from a scavenged meal. It cuts cleanly. A wave of fear ripples through the watching clan. They have seen broken stones before, but this was different. This was creation. It was a thought, made real, an unnatural, alien act. To them, the world is a thing to be endured, to be reacted to. Ava has shown them that it can be changed, and that is the most terrifying idea of all. They see her not as a clever child, but as a vessel for a strange and dangerous spirit. Her uncouth hands have finally made something, and in doing so, have fractured the world. The seasons turn, but the world remains broken. A punishing drought settles over the land, a slow, relentless tightening of nature's fist. The lush greenery of the clan's territory withers to a uniform, brittle brown. The soft earth where they once were aged for roots and tubers bakes into a crust as hard as stone. This is the unforgiving engine of human evolution, a constant environmental pressure that favors innovation or commands extinction. The Australopithecus clan is starving. Their powerful jaws, perfect for grinding tough plant matter, are useless when the plants themselves have vanished. Their fingers, strong from a lifetime of digging, are worn raw and bloody against the iron Midas hard ground. They are a people perfectly adapted to a world that no longer exists. They spend their days in a state of lethargic despair, their complex fission-minus fusion society collapsing into a simple, huddled group of hungry bodies. But Ava is not idle. Her mind, a furnace of connections and possibilities, sees the hard ground not as an impassable barrier, but as a problem to be solved. She retrieves the sharp minus-edged stone she made, the old elven chopper, while her family watches with a mixture of hunger and deep minus-seated suspicion. She kneels and begins to work. She does not dig with her fingers. She hacks. She chips. She levers. The sharp flint bites into the baked earth, doing what their nails cannot. After an hour of grueling work, she unearths a handful of shriveled, woody tubers. They are pure sustenance, but they are food. She offers them to her mother, an act that is both a gift of love and an undeniable demonstration of her alien power. Her success emboldens her. If one tool is good, more are better. She begins to manufacture them obsessively, searching for the best stones, her small hands becoming calloused and expert. She sits in a sheltered alcove, surrounded by her work. She strikes a piece of flint against a dark, iron minus rich stone she found by the dry riverbed, over and over. She works. The rhythmic clack minus clack, a new and unsettling sound in the ancient landscape. And then it happens. A spark, bright and angry, leaps from the impact. It lands in a bed of tinder minus dry moss she had gathered to cushion her stones. A wisp of smoke curls upwards, followed by a tiny, dancing tongue of orange light. Fire, thought Ada. This is the ultimate cognitive leap. She does not just see a destructive force. She sees a creation. She sees the spark, the moss, the flame, and understands the connection. She is not afraid. She is fascinated. But her clan's reaction is one of pure, primal terror. They have only ever known fire as a roaring monster that consumes the world. A thing to be fled from. To see it born here, in their home, from the hands of the strange child, is the ultimate blasphemy. They do not see a tool. They see a demon, summon, the clan leader. His face a mask of fear. His primitive probe neigh this end, making his snarl all the more terrifying. Points a long finger at her, then to the wastes beyond their shelter. She must go. The monster she has birthed must be cast out. Exile is a death sentence. To be without a clan is to be naked in a world of teeth and claws. Eve understands the verdict. She sees it in the fear minus hardened eyes of the family she loves. But as she gathers her few pathetic tools, the fire she created, her terrifying sin, does something unexpected. A small flame catches on a piece of dry wood, graying from a dancing sprite into a crackling, hungry entity. Its light pushes back the encroaching shadows of dusk. Its heat is a physical presence, a bubble of warmth in the cooling air. The clan, poised to drop her out, hesitates. They are terrified of the fire, but they are also drawn to it. Their cold, starved bodies craving the comfort it offers. This is the moment the world changes. The standoff, a silent drama of fear versus need, is interrupted. A low, whooping call echoes from the rocks above, answered by another, and then another. Hyenas, a large pack, drawn by the scent of a clan too weak to defend itself, too starved to run. In a normal season, the clan might have driven them off with a coordinated display of aggression, but now, they are just a collection of trembling, vulnerable prey. The hyenas slink into the firelight, their forms distorted and monstrous in the flickering gloom. They are patient, testing, their powerful shoulders low to the ground. The clan huddles together, their cries of alarm thin and reedy, a pathetic defense against the coming violence. But Ava, the outcast, does not cower. Her mind, racing with a speed her family cannot comprehend, makes a connection. The fire is not just a warmth, not just a light, it is a weapon. This is not an instinct. It is a conscious, terrifying act of altruism and innovation. She grabs the burning branch, its heat searing her hand. She ignores the pain. She is no longer the frightened foundling. She is a wielder of captured sunlight. She stands between her family and the closing circle of predators. She screamed, a piercing cry that is fully human. and thrusts the burning branch forward. The lead hyena, a massive female, recoils, yelping as the strange, hot thing sinks her muzzle. The perch, which has never encountered a prey animal that fights with fire, hesitates, their ancient predatory instincts thrown into chaos. Ava advances, a small, terrifying figure commanding a power they cannot understand. She waves the torch, a whirlwind of sparks and smoke. The hyenas, their courage broken by this unnatural defiance, churn and melt back into the darkness. Silent, the clan stares, not at the vanished hyenas, but at Ava. She stands alone, her face illuminated by the fire, her eyes wide with a mixture of terror and dawning power. She has saved them. She has used her terrifying, alien magic to protect them. Her adoptive mother is the first to move. She approaches slowly, hesitantly, and reaches out, not to the fire, but to Ava's burned hand. It is an act of love that transcends fear, a gesture that redefines their family. Ava is still Ava. She is still a creature of unquiet hands and a frightening mind. But she is their other. She is their monster, their savior, their strange, beloved, terrifying child. She is her home again, but it will never be the same. She has brought the future, and it burns. That accidental spark was the single most important event in the story of life on this planet. The fire, once a thing to be feared, became a tool, a hearth, and a weapon. It was the engine of our ascent, the force that allowed us to cook our food, unlock nutrients, and fuel the explosive growth of the very brain that learned to command it. This what-if story, a fiction rooted in the deep truths of paleontology, illustrates the profound gulf that opened between the genus Australopithecus and the first members of Homo. It was not a gulf of strength, but of cognition. One looked at a spark and saw the end of the world. The other looked at the same spark and saw the beginning. Every time we switch on a light, start a car, or gaze up at the rockets that carry us to the stars, we are simply tending the fire that a small, clever hominid first dared to hold in her hand. That act of courage, of seeing a tool where others saw a demon, is the foundational story of all human technology. The first, and most important, chapter in our long, and often troubled, conversation with power.